Many times, we forget who we are. If people ask me if I'm working for an IT company, if somebody asks me, who are you? I say, I'm an IT engineer or a software engineer. If I work in a hospital, if somebody asks me, who are you? I say, I'm a doctor. If somebody asks me, who are you? I say, I'm a pastor. But you know what? You are not a doctor, you are not an engineer, you are not a pastor, or you are not any profession. You are human. We forget the basic thing. Right? When you attend an interview and they ask, how many years experience do you have? Or what are you? We generally say this, right? Am I making some sense? We tend to say this, I'm an engineer. We are proud, I'm an engineer. But we forget who we are. Before you are an engineer, you are a human. You are not just a human, you are created in the image of God. When I see you, I don't see you just as a human. I see you in the image of God. Irrespective to your color, irrespective to your height, irrespective to your weight, you are the image of God. Amen? As a growing up child in India, I always used to have this passion for cricket, and I used to say, I want to become like Sachin Tendulkar. Or if you watch soccer, you want to become Cristiano Ronaldo. Or, if you're interested in movies, you say, I want to be Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan. We always look and try to imitate people. And we forget who we are. You are not Salman Khan. Even I don't have a body, I used to think I'm Salman Khan. I look like Salman Khan. Just I'm a little dark, or just I'm a little thin, or I look like Mahesh Babu. Telugu speaking guys know Mahesh Babu, the superstar, right? I look like Mahesh Babu. And ladies, they think I look like Aishwarya. Or I look like Katrina Kaif. Right? You don't look like Aishwarya. You are not Aishwarya. There is only one Aishwarya. God made only one Sachin Tendulkar. God made only one Roger Federer. God made only one Cristiano Ronaldo. If you play soccer well, you cannot say I'm a Messi. If you say that, you will mess your life. If you think you are Messi, you are messing your life. Your fingerprint doesn't match Messi's fingerprint. Your retina does not match Messi's retina. Because you are unique. You are made in the image of God. Even if you go generations, thousands of years back, your fingerprint doesn't match anyone in this universe. Because God has created you unique. He has created you who you are. He has created me as Alexander. Not Alexander the Great. I'm Alexander Jacob, okay? So we should know who we are. Many people, they have this identity crisis. They always try to act like somebody. They always try to imitate somebody. They always try to impress somebody. There was a girl who dreamt that she should get a handsome husband. And she always used to talk to her friends and say, hey, I'll get a husband like Mahesh Babu. Who looks like Mahesh Babu? And she was so excited. I will find one like Mahesh Babu. And she fell in love with one handsome guy. She thought he looks like Mahesh Babu. But after a few years, Mahesh left and she had a baby. She had Babu. There is no Mahesh. There's only Babu. People get fooled. You can never become Salman Khan, or you can never become Shah Rukh Khan. There is much more potential than Salman Khan inside you. You can find your potential only when you know who you are and what you are. Identity crisis. When you have this identity crisis, you cannot focus on your life. You always try to please people. You always try to impress somebody. You always try to look for appreciation. God did not call you for that. When you walk in yourself, when you find yourself, people will automatically follow you. When you behave as who you are, people will automatically follow you. There is no need you to have a fan club on Facebook or Instagram. Just be who you are. And the problem with this generation is identity. My neighbor is earning 100,000 a year. So I want 100,000. You're fooling yourself. Maybe you have a potential more than to earn 100,000. But you are limiting yourself by comparing yourself with somebody. You know, comparison is like a cancer. I call it a cancer. We always compare. This guy scored 90% in his studies, so I need to score 91. This guy plays guitar well, so I need to start playing guitar. This guy sings well, so I need to start singing. You try to compare yourself with somebody. And people, sometimes, you have identity crisis for lack of, for many reasons. Because the way you grew up, in the environment you grew up, or in the circle you grew up, you were taught to be somebody in schools. You are taught to be somebody in colleges. But you cannot be somebody. You are you. Do you believe that? You are no less than him, or he is no less than you. Everybody has their own uniqueness. Everybody has their own potential. Everybody has their own purpose. You need to find yourself. Before finding your purpose, before finding what you are, you should find who you are. But we go ahead and we forget who we are and we try to find what we are. Am I making some sense? So start finding who you are before you find what you are. Who you are is more important than what you are. What you are cannot satisfy you, but who you are can always satisfy you. You're not living for somebody. You're not living to work from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, get back home, watch a web series, and sleep. You're not made for that. Yes, you need to work. I understand. But find who you are and what potential you have. Just because you study mechanical engineer, it's not necessary that you just work for 9 to 5. You have inventions inside you. You know, what is the greatest place for inventions? It's a graveyard. There are a lot of people who are in graveyard with a lot of dreams, but they are buried. They didn't find their dream. They did not find the purpose of life. They did not find who they are. If everybody would have found who they are, there would be much more inventions in this world. And we try to insult, when you're comparing yourself to somebody, you're insulting God. You're saying, hey God, you know you made a mistake. You should have made me like Salman Khan or Sachin Tendulkar or Roger Federer. You made a mistake. No, God did not make a mistake. You are fooling yourself. You are making a fool out of yourself. God never makes mistakes. What is the proof? Your fingerprints, your retina. We are fooling ourselves and we are wasting our time. We are burying our dreams. We are burying our purpose. We are burying ourselves. Comparison is a cancer which kills you. If you start comparing yourself as years go on, as years pass on, one day you would be at the same place of your life and you would be frustrated with your life. Because you are always always busy in comparing yourself with somebody or, just trying to be somebody. It says beautifully in the Bible that in Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 10, for we are His workmanship, His own masterwork. God has a great intentions and purposes for everyone, not one person. The way He treats me is the same way He treats you. The way He loves me is the same way He loves you. The way He has plans for me is the same plans He had for you. He's not partial. He's the same God. He is always loving. But we try to insult God. We try to put Him down by comparing ourselves with somebody. And we kill our destinies. Comparison kills your destiny. Comparison kills your identity. How do you know that you are an Indian? You need an identity. On your passport, if you have an Indian passport, then you are called as Indian. Without Indian passport, nobody can call you Indian. That is your identity. Then how do you know who you are? You are God's creation. You are His masterpiece. You are His image. You are His son. You are His daughter. That is your identity. He is your passport. He is your identity. Your identity is found only in God, in Jesus. So we need to start looking who we are. We need to find who we are and stop comparing ourselves with people, comparing with our friends, comparing with our relatives. In India, we have this competitive spirit. Yes, competitive spirit is good, which helps you to fight and be successful. But unfortunately, if you are not aware of it, if you fall into deception, it even kills you. You should be competitive, but never be somebody. Compete with people, but don't compete with your identity. You are not what people named me, They call me, I'm a failure. People call me, I'm good for nothing. People call me, I'm of no use. I'll be a big failure in life. I cannot make it in life. People abused me. People rejected me. People troubled me. You might be facing same things in your life. You might be rejected in your college. You might be rejected in your school. You might be rejected at the workplace. You might be rejected for great thoughts, great ideas you have for invention. You have a great project, but people are rejecting you. They're saying this project is worth of nothing. Maybe you are facing that rejection, but your rejection is for your projection. Amen. When you're rejected more, there is more possibility that God will project you more. And people want to die, sometimes I wonder if, I had a breakup. My girl just left me, she was going with the other guy, so I want to die. I want to kill myself. Are you a fool to kill yourself because you had a breakup? If you still hold your past, you can never see your future. Your past is a bondage. Your past should never stop you moving in your future. If you miss your ex, if you hold on to your ex, you will miss your next.
Bad experience.
I'm talking like a young guy, right? We all come through that phase of life. Don't hold on to your ex. Don't hold on to your past. Because there is next in life. Because you're unique and you are made in the image of God. God cannot see you depressed. God cannot see you troubled. God cannot see you being a failure in life. If you're a designer, if you make a design which is good and people are abusing it by rejecting that, designer is not worried because he knows the worth of the design. He knows one day the design will
reach to high places. God is a designer and you are the designer. God never makes mistakes. He always creates, which is good, which is perfect. You are not useless. You are not worthless. You are worthful. You are not useless. You are useful. You are not nobody. You are somebody. You are not rejected. You are projected. You are not a failure. You are a champion. You are a winner. Right now, Alex, you don't know, right now I'm in a crisis. Every step I move, I'm experiencing a failure. Everywhere I go, people are rejecting me. People are not offering me jobs. Nobody is recognizing me. Because there is something worth inside you. People cannot see it. If you stay depressed, if you stay down, if you stoop yourself down, you are not looking at the potential you have inside. You are not looking at your identity. You are not looking what power, what strength, what purpose you have in your life. You have a champion inside living you. But you are binding the champion with your words, with your thoughts. When people say you are a failure, you think you are a failure and you walk like a failure. When people reject you, you feel like I'm good for nothing, I worth nothing in this world. I'm just a piece of shit. You listen to people and that words influence your life. The words which are spoken, it is influencing your life. Because you're not aware who you are. You're not aware how much potential you have and who made you, who created you, who has given you the gifts and talents. When people say you're a piece of shit, don't listen to them. Say, hey man, I might look like a shit to you, but without releasing that shit, you will die one day. You know, if you stop yourself shitting, you will die. You are not what people call you are. You are what God says you are. So forget about what people say about you. You're not what people say you are. You are what God says you are. God has created you in His image, and He is the master, and you are His design. He is the designer, and you are the design. You are His masterpiece. There will be only one masterpiece, one blueprint. A designer will not make 2 or 3 blueprints. For one design, you make one blueprint. So you are God's blueprint. There is no second Alex. There is no second Matthew. Or there is no second Joel. There is only one Joel. There is only one Alex. There is only one Matthew. You should know who you are. If you miss who you are missing your destiny. Jesus came and died. The reason Jesus came and died for you, God gave best because He knows you are valuable. He doesn't want you to struggle in life, or He doesn't want you to perish in life. He doesn't want you to see as a failure in life. When you're walking down as a failure, when you're walking with a lot of burdens, when you have a broken heart, when you have a huge breakup, and you're suffering inside, there are times where you couldn't go to your parents or friends and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm going through. You cannot explain people because you're afraid that people will not accept you. You're afraid that people cannot give you a warm hug because they are looking at your failure. They're looking at your past. They are looking at your family background, from which country you came, or the color you have, or or the personality you have. We are afraid to go to people and share. But today, we have good news. You can run to one person. There is one person who took your shame. There is one person who came to take your failure. There is one person who came to take your sickness. There is one person who came to take your negative thoughts or your bad intentions about yourself. He came down. He left his throne. God was so surprised. Why my people are walking in failure? Why my people are getting destroyed? They're not using their purpose in their life. They're not reaching their destinies. They're killing themselves. They're being abused by people and devil and enemy. They're in bondage. They are in broken hearts. So he decided, now I need to step in. Now I need to get down because I love him. I love her. They are my creation. I cannot see them being abused. I cannot see them being beaten. I cannot see them suffering. I cannot see them having loads of burdens. So he decided, I will go down. I will leave my throne. I will leave my comforts. I will step down because I love him. And I want to show him who he is. I want to introduce Alex to Alex. Before I want to introduce him to anyone, first I want to introduce himself. So he came down. He showed how to live. He said, hey, you cannot be broken because you have a God who can do impossible. You have a God who created this universe. You have a God who made all things possible. So it's not legal for you to stay in failure. Because I have not created you to be a failure. I have created you to be a winner. I have created you to be successful. I have created you to be a champion. And we negotiate with God. Say, Lord, you don't know, I messed up with my education. I had a lot of backlogs. I had very bad percentage. I have no skills. I have no top talent. But God is saying, do you know more than about you? I know more about you because I am the one who created you. I am the one who designed you. I am the one who knows what processor you have inside and how much capacity you have, how much memory you have, how much RAM you have. Because he is the designer. He knows. He knows your faults. He knows your strengths. So he said, I can fix that. You don't worry, there is some virus in your body, so I can install some antivirus and fix you up. So he came down and he said, hey son, you're not a failure. I'm taking you. I'm showing you who you are. I will introduce you to yourself and I will introduce you to the world. So people will know that who created you and who you are and whose you are. So he came down. He said, God so loved the world. God just did not love few people in the church. God did not love few people who are praising him. God loved the world. Are you in this world? So God loved you if you are in this world. I and you have no difference. God treats you the same way he treats you. He loved the world. Every person belongs to this world and he loves every person equally. So you can always come to him. Lord, I know you have died on the cross. You came down. You so loved the world. So you sent your son to die for me so I could have everlasting life. just life, everlasting life, abundant life. You know what does abundant life mean? A life with success, a life with purpose, a life with joy, a life with happiness, a life to take people, to lead people. You are a champion. You are not a failure. Don't look down on yourself, because you are more than a conqueror. You can conquer failure. When God says you are a more than conqueror, that means you can conquer your failure. You can conquer your rejection. You can conquer every bad thing what's happening to you. To conquer, you need to know who you are and whose you are. If I fight with somebody who is stronger than me, I don't go bravely and fight with him, because I know he will beat me left, right, and center. But if I have Mike Tyson behind me, I'll look into his eyes and I'll punch on his nose, because I know who is backing me. I know who is backing me. God is backing you. If God is backing you, you cannot say, I cannot achieve anything in life. I cannot be successful. I cannot make big in life. You cannot say that. Because there is something which is greater, who is backing you up. The creator of this universe. The one who created the trees, the planets, the stars and the moon and sun, the oceans and the fish and the animals. Can't he create a job for you? Do you think it's too hard for God to create a job for you? He owns this universe. Your Father owns this universe. Do you think that your Father cannot give you a small job? He cannot make you a CEO of a company? He cannot bring a great leader out of you? Do you think He cannot bring a great politician out of you? Do you think that He cannot use you to change your neighborhood, to change your country, to change your city? Yes, He can do that, but are you willing? Are you willing to know who you are and whose you are? God is a gentleman, you know. If I want to go to my friend's house, if he says, hey, I'm busy, so come tomorrow. I hang up my call and I go right away. I say, I want to come now, not tomorrow. God is not like that. He's a gentleman. If you say, hey God, don't come today, He'll not come. He'll wait at the door till you open the door. He's a gentleman. If you say, God, you don't have to tell me who I am. I know I am a failure. I'm worthless. I'm good for nothing, fellow. I'm useless. I'm an idiot, stupid. God says, He doesn't interrupt you. He will wait till you say, Lord, I'm sorry. I want to listen from you. Introduce me to myself. Help me to find myself. Then He will start writing your story. And you know, when God writes your story, it will be glorious. It will be for His glory. So today you need to know, your story will be a history. This is not to make you feel good. This is not to motivate you. Or this is not to make you happy. Because you need to think, hey, this guy who has come is really good. He spoke some good words. No. This is not to get some praises from you. I'm saying this because if you know who you are, you can be a solution in this problematic world. God has created you as a solution. You are not a question mark? You are an answer. For every problem, God wants to create a solution, and you are that solution. When your college is running out of things, you become a solution. Don't complain. Hey, this is good for nothing college. I wasted my money. No, be a solution. Be thankful for God and say, God, I'm ready, use me. Be a solution in the society. Be a solution in your family. I know in some families, families are broken. There is no peace in the family. Father is a drunkard and he abuses. There is no peace. And we sometimes make these statements. It would have been better if I was born in a different family. No, that's not right. There is a purpose why God has placed you in that family. Because He wants you to be the solution.